Hi, I'm Ray with Ray of Light Yoga. So glad you could practice with me. We will be doing yin for the hips and starting in a Sukhasana pose, either sitting upright in your easy seat or lying down flat in Shavasana, flat on your back in corpse pose. Let's begin our practice today with 3 deep breaths to settle in and let the outside world go. And when we inhale from the low belly into the mid belly to the ribs and then the upper chest, the full yogi breath. Let's begin our 3 inhales. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Again, inhaling. Exhaling. Let's begin our body scan, just taking inventory, checking in with areas of our body. Beginning at our crown chakra, feeling that tingle at the top of our head, sliding down our cheeks, sliding down our jaw to our neck as we inhale. Releasing the head and the jaw as we exhale. Continuing down to the shoulders and the arms, inhaling. Releasing the shoulders and the arms, exhaling. Continuing down to the abdomen and the thoracic spine, inhaling. Releasing the abdomen and thoracic spine as we exhale. Continuing down to the pelvis and the lumbar spine and glutes, inhaling. Releasing the lumbar spine and glutes. Continuing down the quads to the knees and the backs of the legs. Exhaling, releasing the knees and the quads. Inhaling down to the shins and the calves. Exhaling, releasing shins and calves. Inhaling to the ankles and the feet. Exhaling, releasing the ankles and the feet. Beginning our pranayama practice, our breath control. We're going to begin with a Vishamvriti, uneven breath today. So let's begin inhaling all the way to the top and exhaling everything out. Beginning our inhale. Exhaling all the way out. We're beginning with a 4-count inhale and a 6-count exhale. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding. Exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding. Exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, holding. Exhaling for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, holding. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, holding. Exhaling 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, holding. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, holding. Exhaling for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time on your own, inhaling. Let your breath come back to its unconditioned state. And slowly opening the eyes. And we really want to keep our eyes downcast at this time, as Yin is a slow practice that is all about the connective tissue in our bodies and going deeper than a Yang practice would. I always like to lay out a blanket onto my mat just to signal to my body that we're slowing down in our Yin practice. So today, let's bring our toes together, triangling our hips as we come into our melting heart, extending out. Most of the weight is in our elbows as our knees and our hips are stacked. And we're here for 1.5 minutes. Breathing in deeply, exhaling deeply, making sure that our breaths are even as our inhales and our exhales are the same length. Melting heart or Anahatasana pose is a beautiful hip opener. And it's kind of an inversion too. It has those benefits as our hips are higher than our heart. 3 more breaths here in our melting heart pose. Feel your shoulders melt down your back. Last breath. On your next inhale, come on to the palms. Coming back into our tabletop pose. Just inhaling the right knee up and bringing the lower right leg to across the top of our mat to the bottom of the right foot is coming on to the left thigh for deer pose. And deer pose is also a beautiful hip opener. Sitting tall for 1 minute here in deer pose. 5 big deep belly breaths with long exhales sinking into our deer. I have a bolster out and I have a block out today. And we have a few more breaths here in our deer pose. But you can also use a stack of blankets, couch cushions, anything like that to help you find your ease in your yin postures that we hold for a little bit longer. Well, quite a bit longer. One more breath here in deer. On your next inhale, rock forward onto the palms, coming back into our tabletop pose. As again, we're inhaling the right knee up to the right elbow, extending the left leg back for our lizard pose or dragon in yin. And we'll be holding our dragon for about a minute and a half. Coming on to the palms, just shifting the palms back and forth here, trying to move a little bit of synovial fluid into the joints, letting the cervical drop. You can move a bolster or a stack of blankets here under the hips and fold forward into your lizard pose if you'd like. Or if you'd like to come down into flying dragon or winged dragon, low flying onto the forearms for about 5 breaths here. Making sure that left knee has some padding, some softness. 3 more breaths here. And that right knee can certainly fall away and you can come on to the edge of the right foot. 1 more breath here in our dragon pose, a winged dragon. On your next inhale, come back onto the palms, heel toeing that right foot across the mat for pigeon pose on the right side. Bringing the top of the right foot onto the mat. The right thigh comes out of the right hip at an angle to the long edge of your mat. And again, you can always use a bolster or a stack of blankets here. Cupcaking the hands, extending up, inhaling. In our pigeon pose, our left leg is long and straight behind us as we exhale forward into our pigeon pose for a minute and a half here. Turning the chin to the right side as we into our pigeon for 5 deep belly breaths here. Sinking into the body. The right heel is at the pubic bone. One more minute here, about 5 more deep breaths. Try to send your breath into that right hip. Two more breaths here. On your next inhale, come onto the palms. Set your bolster aside. Shifting onto the left knee, coming back into our tabletop. Let's extend that right leg out for an Achilles stretch and a little shake. And then coming back into our tabletop as we inhale our left knee up for our deer pose on the left side. Making contact with both sits bones, sitting up tall. This is a beautiful hip opener, gentle hip opener. Bringing our left foot onto the top of our right thigh, and then the right leg is folded beside us, sitting up tall in our deer pose. Shoulders are back. Three more breaths. And if you listen closely, you can hear your body loving every moment of your yin practice. One more breath here. On your next inhale, again rocking forward onto the palms, coming back into our tabletop. As we inhale that left knee up for dragon on the left side. The left heel is on the mat. The toes are off the mat at an angle, and we're coming into our palms. The right leg is straight out behind us. The ankle is straight in line with the knee. Get our wiggles out. Shifting back and forth, releasing the cervical here in our dragon pose. Taking 3 deep breaths. See if you can come to a point of stillness and down onto the forearms if you'd like for your flying low dragon, releasing the cervical here. For 5 breaths in our low flying dragon. Or letting the knee fall out to the left side onto the edge of the foot for winged dragon. 3 more breaths here. Can always lean on a bolster or a block or a stack of blankets. Finding your ease in this highly uncomfortable pose that brings us so much goodness for our hips. One more breath here. On your next inhale, back onto the palms. Heel toeing the left foot across for pigeon on the left side. Bringing that left knee out at an angle to the long edge of your mat. Again, coming up onto the palms. Inhaling up for a straight spine. And it's beautiful if you'd like to stay here. But if you'd like to roll forward onto a bolster or a block or a stack of blankets, please turn your chin the opposite direction. I have you here for 1.5 minutes. top of the left foot is pressed into the mat. The left heel is right by the pubic bone. Right leg is straight out behind us. 5 more breaths here. Two more breaths. Sending that breath into your left hip. Your next inhale, come onto the palms. Pushing your props away, hang on to that right knee, extending the left leg long behind us for an Achilles stretch and a shake, releasing the hip. As we bring our bolster on our stack of blankets or our block on its medium setting to the back of our mat. What we affectionately call the Barca Lounge posture, bringing our right hip to the bottom of your bolster or a stack of blankets here. As we inhale up for a straight spine, as our legs are folded in. And we're just revolving to the right, bringing our body down onto our bolster here for 1.5 minutes. About 8 deep belly breaths here. Again, opening up those hips. You can also turn your chin completely the other direction if you feel so inclined. Five more breaths. See if you can let your to-do list go. Three more breaths. Last breath. On our next inhale, we're going to gently push up with our palms, keeping our eyes downcast and closed if you can. Not wanting to make any sudden movements. Just coming into our knee to chest pose here for 3 breaths. Realigning the hips before we do our twist on the left side. 2 more breaths. On your next inhale, release the knees. Bring the left hip to the bottom of the bolster. And the legs out to the side as we sit up tall, inhaling. And then exhaling for our bolster hug for a minute and a half here. Seven more deep belly breaths. Two more breaths. On your next inhale, push into the palms. Again, keeping the eyes downcast as we come into our final posture, our Shavasana pose. Again, keeping the eyes downcast, spreading the body out here into our Shavasana pose. Let's take one deep breath with an open mouth exhale to settle in. Inhaling. Exhaling. And the hands 10 inches from the body and the feet about 20 inches apart. Maybe using a blanket. Thank you, yogis, so much for practicing with me today. The divine light in me sees and honors the divine light in you. Namaste.